Hey, what's going on YouTube? And welcome back to all my Cloud Scholars out there. My name is Kieran Schross, and you have entered the Cloud Scholars podcast. So, for those of you, this is your first time watching any of my videos, here at Cloud Scholars, we have two parts of this YouTube page. Well, the first part is the technical side of the house where I teach cybersecurity, I teach cloud infrastructure, I teach things in Azure, and I do also ethical hacking as well. The second part of Cloud Scholars, the other side of the wheelhouse, is where we have a podcast and where I talk about technology. And what I like to do is I look at it as I'm giving you a window. So this way, if you're looking to get into technology, I'm providing you some detail about how things will look, how a new life will look if you're into technology, or perhaps you're in technology and you're trying to go up the ladder. And I'm providing you that information as well. So that's really what the Cloud Scholars podcast is really about. So before I jump into today's topic, what I want to do is wish everyone out there a happy and healthy school year. I wish you a great amount of success. Some of you have already started back school. Some of you are starting back next week. My son starts back school next week. He's going into kindergarten. I'm not going to hold you. I'm a little nervous about that, but I'm also excited as well. I thank God for blessing me with such a great kid, that he is going to be successful in his next school year and he's going to a new school. So I'm happy about that, but I wanted to wish you all a happy new school year. So today's topic, we're going to talk about which cloud platform will make you more money. And the way this topic came about is I actually got a question about 2 weeks ago, and the question came from Brian Alexander 6174. So, as I said to you before, there is a technical side of Cloud Scholars YouTube page, and one of the videos I had was what is the difference between Azure and Office 365. And with that video, Brian Alexander 6174 posted, he asked me a question. He's like, let's say you had an option to do only one of them. Which one do you think would be bang for your buck? Especially if you're new to IT and want to get a job and also get the employer's attention. So it was a great question. So what I said to him was, great question. Both routes are great choices. I would first say, which one do you like more? At the end of the day, you'll be living in this role for the next 2 years. It is important to find one that you are passionate about. He responded, Cloud Scholars, okay, so basically, which one looks more attractive on a resume, in your opinion? So I said, Azure has more jobs. And then he goes, okay, thank you very much. So I go, not a problem. If you're just starting, I'd recommend the Azure Fundamentals, then move on to Azure AZ-104 certification to become an Azure administrator, so on and so forth. And he just said, thank you. So I always tell people, listen, if you're going to go into any field in IT, I push people to the cloud. I've said that numerous times on this page. But I also say to them, find out what you're passionate about. Now, just saying the cloud is very broad. There's a lot of different things you could do in the cloud. So you want to really focus on your pathway into the cloud. So that's really what I was trying to get to him in terms of your passion. Now, not everybody's like me. Some people are different. They don't care. They just want to do the 9 to 5, and that's pretty much it. But if you find something that you're passionate about, you don't really feel like work so much. So that's kind of just my opinion and my 2 cents on that specific topic. So now let's talk a little bit more about the topic of today. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I have an article here and I want to bring you the facts. And everybody has their opinion on certain stuff, but I like to read different articles and talk a little bit about that. So here's an article from Acceleration Economy. And it says, who's number one in the cloud? Microsoft, as big as AWS and Google Cloud combined. So now before I jump into this topic, one thing I want to talk about is because the question was really about Azure versus Office 365. Now I want to take a step back. So we're talking about Azure versus Office 365. First, we need to figure out, okay, what are you trying to get into? So if you're trying to get into technology, then there's the cloud altogether, and there's different cloud platforms that you can get into. So let's just say some of the different cloud platforms are, and my page is loading up. Let me go to this one right here. So we have Microsoft, we have Google Cloud, we have Amazon, you have Oracle, you have SAP, you have ServiceNow, you have Workday, you have Salesforce, and you have IBM, and you have Snowflake. So there's a lot of different avenues for you to take when it comes to getting into the cloud. Now, The question that was asked earlier was between Azure and Office 365. So to me, it's Azure all the way. Office 365, you can definitely get a lot of jobs with that one as well, but you're definitely looking at Azure as the one that's probably a little bit higher. And why do I say that? So go into this article from Acceleration Economy. They're talking about, and they say Microsoft is as big as AWS and Google Cloud combined. And I'm going to leave a link to this article as well. I'm not going to go through this whole article, but there's certain things that I do want to point out in this article. So one of the things it says is while Amazon AWS Cloud Unit gets plenty of notoriety for being the world's leading cloud infrastructure provider, Microsoft's overall cloud business will generate as much revenue in calendar 2023 as AWS and fast-growing Google Cloud combined. Then they go on to say in a post from late last week, my 2023 revenue projections for the Cloud Wars Top 10 included the following estimates for Microsoft Cloud, which is number one on my weekly rankings, and for number two, Google Cloud and AWS. And it goes into about the revenue from all three. So Microsoft is 124 billion, growing at 21.6%. Google Cloud is at 33.9 billion, growing at 28.9%, and AWS is 91 billion, growing at 13.7%. So, yeah, AWS has a lot more dominance, but then if you're looking at how much money Microsoft is making, you got to look at that and translate that to job opportunities, because if they're growing that much, that means they need more engineers, they need more architects to actually do the work. And that's why it says it's growing at 21.6%. Then you have also, Google Cloud. And one thing I would say about Google is that they know, right, that they're last in the race. What I would say of all three of these these three providers, cloud providers, and they know they're last in the race, but they've been making a lot of headway this year. Google has done a lot of initiatives. They're partnering with different companies like IT firms, and what they're also doing is they're saying, hey, get certified, and what we'll do is pay you to get certified as well. So if you get a Google certification, there are certain certifications that they were providing to some companies, which where they were paying about like $2,000 or a little bit over $2,000 to those that were certified. And I got Google certified, and I got paid for getting certified. So I'm just telling you something from personal experience. So Google is really growing, and you would not be making this mistake by getting a Google certification. So there's another part of this, there's another sentence, a paragraph I wanted to read to you all as well. When it came to this topic, it was, so let me go to it. My point is the cloud has offers almost unlimited range of categories and subcategories. No, sorry, not there. Has chosen the cloud business as a massive, vibrant. All right, here we go. Okay, so it says Microsoft has been number one in the Cloud Wars top 10 for about 4 years now. It is able to address more of what customers need on their business and digital transformations than any other cloud vendor. It has made life easier for its customers because it's forged more high value partnerships than any other major cloud vendor. And then it has been a bold pioneer in the generative AI revolution, and it says it continues to execute and grow superbly at a scale. It projected 124 billion in cloud revenue this year. That clearly demonstrates that it is number one in the hearts, minds, and budgets allocations of its customers. Okay, so this article is proving exactly what I mentioned earlier to I'm forgetting his name right now. Give me 2 seconds. So I mentioned earlier to Brian when I said about Azure, because they're growing at such a large rate and there's a lot of jobs. When you're seeing though that revenue, that means there are a lot of jobs, there are a lot of contracts, there's a lot of opportunities for folks like you and I in order for us to secure our own bag. Obviously, that $124 billion not what we're getting, but you're still going to get paid pretty well. Now, when it comes to all three of those clouds, honestly, I can't say you're going in the wrong direction with any one of them. To be honest with you, Google probably doesn't have as much professionals as the other two. So I kind of look at it, if you're looking at it as a body of water, Azure is probably like the ocean, but there's a lot of people inside that ocean. Google is a large lake that continues to grow, but there aren't as many swimmers in it. So that's kind of like the analogy that I like to use when you're talking about which one you should go for and the competition, because you're going to have competition, but you need to separate yourself from everyone else. So that is my 2 cents when it comes to that. I'm definitely going to leave the article in this video. I hope that you click on the video and you provide some context. Perhaps somebody else out there says, well, I think AWS. It's really up to you. The big picture to me is find out exactly what you want to do, because the cloud is very broad. There's so many different avenues that you can take when it comes to getting into the cloud. So that's pretty much all I want to really cover in today's topic. So, as always, what I like to do is leave you with a motivational talk, which this one is sometimes you make the right decision, sometimes you make the decision right. That is a motivational quote for today. So, don't harp too much on your decision. It's very important, but it's really about making the right decision. And what do I mean by that is you make the decision right is you can get into technology. And I know a lot of people into technology that aren't making a decent amount of money because they're not pushing themselves, they're not learning new technologies, they're not looking at the market and seeing where the demand is. You make the most out of your opportunity. You can have two people go to the same school and one person could come out amazing and say the school is great, and the other person will look at it from a different perspective and say, oh man, their books were outdated, they didn't have this, they didn't have that. You make your opportunity. How you perceive and look at things will change your world. So be one of those people that are optimistic and be one of those people that are looking for opportunities. If there is an issue, then look at that as an opportunity for you to make money, for you to grow. So that's really my 2 cents when it comes to this whole thing. So this is the end of the video. I hope that what I provided to you was beneficial. If you haven't done so already, please smash that like and subscribe button. Here at Cloud Scholars, my goal is to get you from scholar to consultant, and of course, consultant to expert. Thank you, and God bless. See you next time.